Hey everyone, Ashley here with more Godzilla NES. Oh boy, the last episode was definitely, shall we say, tense. Especially the fact that we were going through labyrinths and that moment with Red. Seriously. It's not often you see me jump back like that. Except for that part with Real, which I'm still practically still mad at him for, but other than that, we must continue on with the journey. So, let's see what we're gonna get ourselves into. Chapter 6, Exodus. I swear it says extra for some
In the
reason.
brief instant before the transition between entropy and Exodus, I was hoping that I would get Godzilla and Anguirus back.
Okay.
As the board appeared, I saw that my wish was
Oh, at
half
least you
granted.
got Godzilla
I
back.
had Godzilla back, but no Anguirus.
Huh.
I
Guess
would have
he's still in the
preferred both, but
lounge, I
despite
guess?
Anguirus' neat abilities, I would have chosen Godzilla if I had to pick between the two.
Okay.
Exodus had two different colored temples, white and pink, a pyramid, what looked like some modern buildings, and two other icons I couldn't figure out at the time. The new bosses were Kumonga, Gorosaurus, and not Ghidorah, whom I was dreading to see.
Not
let alone
Ghidorah,
fight.
okay.
With Godzilla back, I was excited again and eager to explore, yet still cautious.
Yes, it's
I
best
went
to
to
approach
the quiz
cautiously.
level first, just as before. This time, Face's questions were more random than ever.
Okay.
Do elephants breathe?
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever been molested by a family member?
No comment.
No.
Nope.
Have you ever raped anyone? No.
No.
Is green your favorite color?
One of my two colors.
Is the computer the pinnacle of modern technology?
Yep, you're not wrong
Yes.
on that.
Are you a tough guy? Yes. Can you
If
fly?
A girl would make sense.
No.
Seriously?
Can you stand on your head?
Nope.
Yes. Do you hate raccoons?
No.
No. Do you feel blame? No.
No. What do you mean by that?
Would you like a new monster?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
And,
Will you miss me?
huh?
Yes. I was happy that I was getting a new monster, but that last question bothered me.
What do you
Will
mean by
miss
that?
me?
Face?
Is Face referring to when I finish the game? I thought. Since the revelation of the game's truly otherworldly nature, I wasn't sure what to think of Face, or anything else in the game. But something about that last statement gave me a genuine feeling of sadness from Face.
Ah! The heck was that?
As I was thinking about this, the game had gone back to the board. I had a new
who's
monster,
the newcomer?
but I had no idea who it was supposed to be. The sprite had a slight resemblance to Rodan,
How is
but
that?
the head was totally off. I moved this mysterious newcomer to a white temple icon and started the level. When I started the level, this screen appeared with the text, "Find the gem," presumably instructions for beating the level.
Okay.
After that,
I think this
got
is the
my
only time we
first
see
look
that.
at my new playable monster.
Solomon!
A hairy, dark blue creature
That's
with
what this
bat wings
character
and a
is.
skull-like face named Solomon. And I also found that my path was blocked by a beam of light and a small pillar with a plate on it.
He's a
I
blue
figured
demon.
that this beam of light was blocking the exit, so I had to find the gem and drop it on the plate to deactivate the beam. How exactly I was going to do that, I didn't know. There wasn't anything in the original game requiring you to find an item to beat a level. I'd have to find out when I obtained the gem. The only direction I had to go was left, so on I proceeded.
Alright.
Solomon was an interesting monster, to say
Now
the
we're
least.
gonna get the description of
He
Solomon.
was capable of both flight and a heat beam, both of which proved to be very useful. He could also kick and slash with his wings, but he couldn't duck. The White Temple's music was a vocalizing choir, or a video game approximation of such. It's hard to describe, but it had a very holy sound to it. It wasn't long before I started
we're in
running
some kind
into
of
waves
church
of strange
area?
new enemies. They did little to stop me. I ran past them while slashing and didn't take any damage. There was a pause between each wave of enemies. After you have killed about 10, there wouldn't be any for about a minute. Then the next wave would appear. After 5 minutes, I noticed holes in the floor and ceiling. Guillotine-mouthed creatures were rapidly flying up and down these crevices, so I had to time my jumps carefully.
Yep,
because
it's all about
I didn't know if I'd get another shot at this. Luckily, I managed to get through without a scratch. I'm just lucky, I guess.
Yep.
After that, I found myself at the end of the hallway, facing some kind of mini-boss monster. It moved very fast and had some kind of projectile that it shot in 4 directions.
Since this is sort of
but
a
I killed it
test.
quite easily using Solomon's heat beam. When the battle was over, I had my gem, which was inside the creature's head. I found that I could pick it up and hold the gem by walking over to it and holding down B. I made the long trek back to the start, deposited the gem on the plate, which deactivated the beam. I left the stage and was shown what was probably the strangest quirk relating to the Solomon monster.
Still the best.
Every time you complete a stage or defeat a boss with Solomon, this screen appears.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I have no idea what "still the best" 1973 means. Neither the date nor the phrase has any meaning or significance to me that I can
Not
think
sure
of,
what it means
and
either,
I've spent
buddy.
a lot of time thinking
You
about
and me
it.
are just confused.
The next level I played was one I call Bronze Pyramids. I
We're in
used
Egypt.
Godzilla and found he had been leveled up to 12 since I last played as him in Dementia.
Lucky.
The Bronze Pyramids were fairly
I
normal
guess you could say
as
that was
far
a
as these
Rocky
levels go,
montage right
but
there.
the visuals were quite interesting.
Oh.
Almost unusually colorful and lively. The music had a fitting Egyptian style to it. It was slow and
Makes you wonder if
mysterious
Memphis
sounding.
is around, or maybe Anubis.
I strolled through the level fighting off the various enemies. None were too difficult, although the ants could be a pain if you ran into too
deal with
many at once.
ants!
My favorite enemy was this giant reptile I encountered halfway through. At the end of the level, I came to a giant pyramid, and I engaged in yet another mini-boss fight.
Oh? There
Although
seem to be a
this
lot
one was
of
a bit
these.
different, because I had to fight 2 of these monsters at the same time.
Okay.
Individually, I could have dealt with them easily, but fighting both of them at once was challenging.
Yep.
But I sped things up by tricking one of the twin beasts into barbecuing his brother by jumping when he uses his flame breath. After I defeated the twin monsters, I noticed something strange after returning to the board.
Huh?
I was now able to move my monster piece anywhere on the board, without limits.
Woohoo!
Normally, Godzilla could only move 2 spaces each turn, and Mothra could move 4. I wanted to try out Solomon some more, so I moved his piece over to one of these brown pillar-looking icons with colored dots, and started the level. When I got to the level, I then realized what the level icon represented. Totem poles. I was greeted by 2 of them right at the beginning. The music had a Native American sound to it. It seemed to be using the same instruments as the Entropy Forest. It was noticeably different, but just as foreboding. I walked around for 3 minutes with nothing else
that got brought back
besides the totem poles. I didn't realize until then, but I wasn't expecting another level with nothing alive in it. After all the activity and entropy, walking by all those multicolored faces, this unnerving level left me feeling like I was being watched.
They see everything.
Only about 10 minutes after I started Extus, I was already halfway through. After getting back from the totem pole level, I tried out one of the TV screens to see how
let's see what we get here.
this time. Even more strange than before.
Yep.
Apparently. The music for this was the Uranus theme.
No comments.
I switched back to Godzilla to play another level, and this level was quite a surprise.
What?
It was a normal city level.
Oh.
The colors were gloomy, but even still, this was
That
quite a
is
shock.
so fitting,
This is
actually.
the kind of level I would expect to see in a Godzilla game, and I was kind of mad that I didn't get to play it earlier. The music was the Earth theme. I found it strange that a level fitting a Godzilla game would show up this late.
I guess
But
the
there's
game
no
was
point
actually
in
being
crying over
generous.
spilled milk, I suppose.
Yep, better late than never.
I moved Solomon over to a grayish-green icon, which turned out to be a giant high-tech laboratory of some sort.
Oh.
Lots of mechanical drones in this level.
Apparently
but
we're in
Solomon
Dr.
cleared
Eggman's
through them
lab.
Just like the White Temple enemies.
Who
music
dares
was a
enter
gritty
my
industrial
laboratory?
beat. There was also a strange flying
Robots,
cyborg,
attack!
which was annoying because it would fly away when you jumped to attack it. Also of interest were these large stasis tanks, holding some kind of monster inside.
Oh?
As you would guess, sometimes the monsters awaken and shatter through the glass.
That's
I tried
like
to get past
Alien.
the stasis tanks as fast as possible, because the monsters inside proved to be vicious little bastards upon release.
Yikes.
At the end of the level was an elevator, which I used to go down to the bottom of the level.
Why am I
where the
reminded
exit
of the
was.
subspace
Along
emissary
the way,
with
I
the
was shot at by
elevator?
security drones. I couldn't leave the elevator, so my
Yeah,
only
that's what it
defense
reminds
was
me
a
of
heat
slightly.
beam. The last level type was the simple thing I call the Heart Temple,
Heart
for
temple?
obvious reasons.
What?
Nothing but a big
What?
hallway filled with floating enemies shaped like human hearts.
Uh.
They're incapable of causing you damage, so what you do is run through the
Weird,
level,
but
smashing
kinda
as
cute,
many
actually.
as you can to get all the power-ups. One run through these levels would get the life meter back up to full, and I would greatly appreciate these levels later.
Okay.
The Heart Temple's music reminded me of a circus tune. It had
Well-
an overly cheerful sound to it, which gave the level a really weird feeling.
Yeah.
Having
It
seen
was
all these levels,
weird,
I
but it's
chose
useful.
to fight Gorosaurus using Solomon.
Okay.
The music for this fight was Godzilla's theme. It was during this fight I realized that Solomon was overpowered. A single well-aimed slash can take down as many as 4 of an enemy's life bar.
Jeez.
Due to this, the fight was over very quickly. Gorosaurus had no projectile attacks, or anything else that could match Solomon's deadly claws. But I kept the fight going just long enough to see if Gorosaurus would use his iconic kangaroo kick, and I was greatly pleased when he did.
Thank you.
Even though I knew Solomon was my fighting ace, I used Godzilla to battle Kumonga, just for variety.
Okay.
I briefly considered using Mothra, but of course Godzilla won.
Time to
out.
take out the giant spider.
Kumonga was also a simple opponent. No heat beams or anything. He attacks by jumping on you, stabbing with his mandibles, and also uses his signature webbing stream to paralyze you. Once you get webbed, Kumonga will sometimes take the opportunity to attack you. But it's mostly a way to buy some time, like Azor backing you in a corner until the time runs out. His music was Hedorah's theme.
Okay.
With Gorosaurus and Kumonga defeated, I was at the end of Extus. Before I fought not Ghidorah, there was something I had to do. I wasn't expecting much from it, but for documentation's sake, I took a look at the other TV screen.
Okay.
This is what it was.
Eh?
I don't think there ever was much reason behind the TV screens. If I were to guess, I'd say it's some random, uncontrolled manifestation of the cartridge's abilities. Or maybe all this makes perfect sense to the game. Who knows? Anyway, Mr. Fawcett's theme was the Saturn.
Mr. Fawcett.
It was time for the opponent I had been dreading. Not Ghidorah. Although I had gained courage with Solomon's combat advantages, I was still nervous. And when I started the fight, I was immediately confused. My opponent was not Ghidorah. I
Boss
defeated
rush.
the imposter with a few strikes, and then
It's
not
the-
Mogira.
Yes, the boss rush.
Then it made sense. In order to get to not Ghidorah, I had to battle all the previous replacements first.
Yeah.
Battle them, I did. After I beat not Mogira,
The strange bird creature.
and after him, it was not Hedorah.
Serpent
And after
creature.
him, not Baragon,
Golden
then
mammoth.
not Gigan, and finally, not Mechagodzilla.
With the shoot tube cannon.
I tore my way through them until finally I made it to not Ghidorah, who was a Dorat.
Ah!
Once I stopped laughing, I destroyed him with only 2 slashes, and I thought I was going back to the board. But the battle wasn't over yet.
Let's shoot!
The real fight was against the Chimera, a monstrous hybrid of all the replacement beasts. This was by far the most difficult boss yet.
That is
Every
super
attack
cool.
of this would cut down whole life bars per use, while attacks against him were greatly weakened. Solomon's slash, for example, was now lucky to take away 1/2 a life bar. During this battle, I gained a great appreciation for two things: the boss's fight time limit and the heart temple. Had it not been for those things, I might never have beaten this boss.
Yeah!
To take
Music
down
is
this
cool
behemoth,
too.
I came up with a strategy. I would switch between Godzilla and Solomon. As
Alright.
one began to get dangerously low on health, I would take him to the heart temple while fighting Chimera with the other. I should count my blessings
Yeah, this is a
that
man's
Chimera
fight!
couldn't regain
Because
lost
Mata's
health.
already done enough.
A very interesting thing about Chimera was that the colored sections of his body correspond to his different body parts. So each body part effectively had its own life meter.
Yep.
The head was invincible as long as the other parts were present, and would always be the last part to be destroyed. In addition to being difficult, it was also the longest fight so far. I tried to remember how many times I got taken out of the fight by the timer, but I lost count around 13. Eventually, I had destroyed all the components but the head, which now flew around on its own at an incredible speed. Chimera fought well, but I was extremely determined, and once he was reduced to a head, he no longer had the power to defeat Solomon.
Guess you could say
and I
we were
heat-beamed him
upper-headed!
And then the Chimera was no
I'm
more.
sorry.
I was exhausted after that drawn-out fight, and worried that might affect my performance in the End-World chase level. The headquarters icon was replaced, but not by the Hellbeast face.
Oh?
Instead, it was a crucifix.
Uh?
I was completely stunned. I wasn't excited about seeing the Hellbeast icon again, but if there was only one good thing about those levels, it was that they were predictable. I had a basic idea of what to expect. But now here, I was at the end, and the icon was completely different. What did it mean? And why a crucifix?
I don't know.
It made me very uneasy. I attempted to start the level with Solomon, but I couldn't. I got this notice that simply stated, "Solomon can't enter here."
Because he's a demon?
It didn't say why, but I think maybe it has to do with Solomon's demonic appearance.
Yeah,
Since Solomon
he's a demon.
was out of the question, I went with Godzilla instead.
Okay, and...
Once I saw the level,
graveyard.
the crucifix made sense. The level was a graveyard.
Yeah.
I was still on edge, thinking this was some kind of trick. The last level had always involved me running from the demonic beast, and I wasn't going to be fooled into thinking this would be any different. So I started out running. But after a minute without interruption, I slowed down. It was during this time that the music caught my attention.
Oh, now the
I
music's
knew
picking
it
up?
sounded familiar when I first heard it, but it took me a while before I realized what it was. An 8-bit rendition of Prayer for Peace from the first Godzilla film.
Oh?
A very sad and powerful song, even in this form. At 2 minutes into the level, I encountered something that I wasn't sure how to react to.
Oh?
My first instinct was to run, but this blue statue-esque being simply floated in place,
An
and I felt
angel?
compelled just to stare at it, for a time.
Oh.
Since this was a grave, and it was floating over a
I
chapel,
have no
I guess
words,
that
guys.
this was some kind of angel watching over the deceased. It
Yeah.
gave me a strange but warm feeling. I wouldn't say happy, but I felt I was at peace. Somehow. I had never seen this being before, yet it seems very familiar to me. Just as I was going to leave,
Oh,
Hellbeast
no.
and its presence warped the music into a terrifying
Hi, Red!
and transformed the level, desecrating the tombstones as a new ground appeared, comprised of blood-soaked bodies.
Time to get out of there,
I
now!
could feel my heart beating out of
Run,
control.
run,
I had
run!
no chance of escape with the monster that close. It lunged for the kill. But the angel got in its way. The
Jeez!
demon roared and started clawing through the angel's leg, and tears of blood streamed from her eyes. I wanted to save the angel, but there was nothing I could do. I had to honor its sacrifice and run. And so I ran through the hellish landscape as fast as I could. The beast soon caught up with me, still swallowing the body of the angel
Jeez,
whose
Red.
legs it had torn off.
Do you know any manners?
And this sight made my terror change into anger.
Yeah.
I now found myself hating this horrible monster. There was no doubt in my mind that it was pure evil, and I wanted it to die.
Duh, it's a demon.
When I got to the end,
Well,
I remember
a
how it
devilish demon.
responded to my insult and trance. I spoke to it and said,
This.
"You're going to pay." This was its response.
What? Huh? Huh?
I had no idea how I would follow up on that threat. And nothing could have
Jeez,
prepared me
Red.
for the horrors of the final world. Zenith.
Zenith is the final level, guys. Just... oh boy. I don't know how to feel about this chapter, guys. It kind of had a mixture of, well, that of mystery, the sense of weirdness, the sense of the norm, and, well, major boss rush, which makes you feel like you were going to deal with a Mega Man situation. But that last part, whoo boy. Who'd have thought? But we are going to be seeing just what Zenith is. And let me tell you, there's one thing. Prepare to see a lot of red. And I mean a lot of red. This is Ashley, and have a nice evening, everyone.